Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Juneann Show. And listen, I have the privilege today of actually speaking to the Commissioner of Lands and Survey, Mr. Trevor Benn.
Ms. Juneann, it's a pleasure, a privilege to be able to speak with you today.
Yes. Commissioner, I am so excited as a Guyanese because there's great opportunities opening to us now as Guyanese. We know about the oil, and that's the major thing for us. Now, people are looking for land, people like myself that actually lives overseas, that are coming back to be a part of the infrastructure to help to grow our country. Please tell me, what are the plans that you have to help people like myself?
So, you're right, this is a very exciting time to be in Guyana.
Yes.
There's a lot. Guyana cannot undertake this journey it's about to embark on without the help of our brothers and sisters from the diaspora.
Yes.
So we need every last one of you to refocus your attention back home. I know that many of you in the diaspora have either requested or have sought to come to Guyana to acquire land. And the government of Guyana is doing all in its power to ensure that we can be able to undertake the actions needed to facilitate your requests.
Okay.
It is quite a journey for us here at the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission, given where we're coming from. It's been 3 years since I've been here, and we have started the transformation of the Commission to ensure that we can deliver on your requests. We are digitizing the records of the Commission, and we are moving towards having a web-based approach to working with you. And so in the future, once we have been able to digitize and upload everything on our website, you will not have to leave the U.S. to try.
Good news to hear. I know for people like myself who has come back and forth, and I don't mind, it gives me an excuse to run back home constantly. But that is fabulous, Commissioner. Congratulations. Now, when do you see this breakout happening?
So this, as you know, at the moment, we are mostly a paper-based organization.
Right.
And so we have to digitize records dating back to the 1700s. Land information is historical, and you have to be able to research and look at all the land information relating to a particular parcel of land before you can make an informed decision. You want to make sure that when you make a decision on a portion of land, it cannot be contradicted. It cannot be challenged. We have found that a number of instances where a decision has been made that a challenge has been brought. For example, we discovered recently a case where an individual was given title through the official process for a portion of land that our post office is occupying and has been occupying for more than 50 years.
Wow.
So the historical records are quite important to help us to make sure that we do not make these mistakes. When you hand over a parcel of land to an individual, in many cases that individual spend the last of their money to acquire that portion of land.
The odds are yes.
And you do not want them to end up in a situation where they cannot utilize that land because of a decision made by us.
Right.
So we are taking steps to digitize our records dating back to the 1700s, which will help us to be able to do the kind of research that is necessary on a real-time basis to help us to make decisions.
Okay.
As you know, at the moment, it is quite frustrating for many people, the length of time that we take to process application. I hear that every day. Some people from the diaspora has been in touch with me via all the social media. They try to reach out to me. Sometimes I cannot respond.
That is true, and I understand that one, because you and I talked about hundreds of people sending you every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a constant intake of calls, requests through LinkedIn, through Facebook, through emails, whatever channels they can find me on, people reach out to me. And it's quite difficult for me as one individual to be able to respond to all of them.
Yeah.
We have started our Facebook page and we are trying to use that as an option for some people, but that too is not.
Yes, okay.
So
Understand.
we ask of our colleagues, our family and friends in the diaspora to please bear with us. The transformation has started. It is quite slow, but obviously when you're dealing with paper records, you want to make sure that you don't make mistakes.
Right.
So it takes a lot more time. We have been working to reorganize the commission. We have brought in, for example, a new division, a legal division, to help us to go through all of the records and make sure that we are making the correct decisions that cannot be challenged, or if it is challenged, that we would know that we can, with some degree of certainty, overcome the challenge.
Commissioner, please help me. When you say challenge, you mean in the sense of somebody coming from the outside to claim that it's their property?
Yes,
Oh,
that
I see.
has happened.
Okay.
Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we assume that the land belongs to the state, but in fact it is privately held.
Oh, okay.
And vice versa. People assume that the land is privately held when in fact it's the state's
It
land.
belongs to the state, okay.
But one of the challenges we face outside of the paper-based approach to our work is the absence of good maps of the country. As a country, we have not done what we should be doing in terms of making updating our base maps to help us to make more informed decisions. We have to be able to know where our waterways are, where the roads are, where the unsurveyed lands are, what size is the land, and generally to know, based on the mapping, where to put what type of infrastructure.
Is this affecting GPSing, or are you going to use GPSing for this?
GPS, we are using GPS for coordinates to help us to better understand where the lands are.
Okay.
But before we can even use the GPS, we need to update our base maps.
But that would be true.
And we are working on that. We are doing a number of things to ensure that we can put our records, at least at a basic level, on the website, so that you as an individual or anyone from any part of the world, wherever you're located, can go and search for information. Again, this is not a mistake as possible.
Okay, so now the question I go back to, and I promise I will make this as short as I can and I'll finish. But you said that now people, not now, but in the future, people will be able to go and select a parcel of land. They'll be able to see what's available. Like going to a menu and selecting and say, okay, 30 acres is available, or 15 or 5 or whichever, however you're lotting it out. And say, okay, I'd like this piece, put the application in, process it, and then everything is being done. And then they can travel and come back and see when they want to?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, we have just completed this year a round of study tours. Our staff have gone to Europe.
Right.
And in Europe they visited the Netherlands, they visited the UK, they visited Serbia, and they visited Rome. In the Caribbean we visited Jamaica and Cayman Islands. The intention is to give them a view of what's happening in terms of land management in these various places.
Fantastic.
What we have found is that we are really lagging behind in the way we process, in the time it takes to process applications.
Oh, okay.
Ours have unended processes and time it takes. In our closest neighbor in the Cayman Islands, it takes 7 days.
Yes.
So it's a process.
Yes. Well, I want to say, as a Guyanese who is in the diaspora that has taken the steps to come back to Guyana to help to grow my country, I'm very happy to hear the results of what you just told me. I know that other people are using me as the pioneer to do what it's being done, and they're, based on what I'm doing, they're going to follow suit. I've got other people that are non-Guyanese that are interested in coming back, that have asked me to facilitate for them. Now, how do you go about handling this process such as that?
No distinction between Guyanese and non-Guyanese when it
Okay.
comes to application for land.
Oh, okay.
Every individual have the right. We are in the process of preparing a new national land policy, and we don't know if that will change.
Okay.
But at the moment, there is no distinction.
Right. So for those of you who are looking to be a part of helping to build the infrastructure of Guyana, we will be happy to have you, as you heard the commissioner just said. However, like those countries, Kuwait and Dubai and those places where you're not allowed if you're a non-entity of the country, meaning if you're not a natural born citizen, you're not allowed to purchase there. So this is your time, if you're interested in being a part of helping to build us in Guyana, to take opportunity. Right?
No,
Yes, because definitely we don't know if those things are going to change. Yes. Well, Commissioner, I thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
Truly, and giving some very vital information. Yes. All right. Remember, keep watching. I will have updated information for you. This is Juneann Lewis with the Juneann Lewis Show. Living wealthy always is a mindset. Remember that. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching the Juneann Lewis Show. Like and subscribe.